you can see, okay, I'm gonna have to, this guy is gonna mess me up big time. So he has a shotgun. And I don't want to get hit by that. There, I'm gonna use a bandage to fix myself and bust out the pop rocket. Somebody is still hitting me with a grenade launcher, and I don't know where that's coming from. Just gonna loot this, and...
Yeah, you know, the game doesn't have a traditional loot system like Borderlands in the sense that you're getting purple and blue items. But it still seems like it's very loot-driven in the sense that it seems like there's always the shiny stuff to pick up no matter where you go.
Yeah, and yeah, so I guess I should be clear about that. This is not, there we go. This is not like Borderlands where it's more like Diablo, where you're just going around and picking up weapons all over the place.
Right, this is much more akin to BioShock.
Yeah.
You're picking up components for weapons.
Yeah, and the upgrade system is very similar to BioShock, where yeah, you're essentially upgrading existing functions. Of course, you don't have magical powers in this game, but the alternative to that, and I'm just going to get out of the way here. Oh, there, I got a Night Blossom, which you can craft into things. The alternative is I'm going to switch around my gear items once I go down the elevator. There we go. So there's my, if you can see in the bottom left, the sentry turret will come up there. I can drop a sentry turret. I have wing sticks. I have an EMP grenade. I haven't been using any of that stuff, so, oh, wrong menu again. So I can do that real quick. I'm going to build a sentry bot, and I am going to equip. Well, I'm just going to place a turret down here, and then you can sort of see what it does. There we go. So it'll help out and just sort of attack anything that's near. If you're fighting melee enemies, they will. There you go.
There you go. They'll kick it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So, yeah, enemies are very aware of the things you put down. They will fight sentry turrets. They will fight bots you put down.
So you're able to loot your turret for some of the parts back?
Yeah, so you can go up to turrets that get destroyed and basically reclaim pieces that you dropped. And I should actually use the crossbow because I think it has probably the most interesting alternate ammo types in the game. Well, I suck and I totally missed that guy, but there we go.
Nice.
So that's a dynamite bolt. It won't blow up instantly, but against any lesser enemy, it's essentially an instant kill.
Well, and it appears to make them, they stop running at you because they realize, oh my god, I have dynamite stuck to me.
Yeah, and so I assume if you can get them, I was trying to do it so that you could get an enemy in a group and peg one of them so that he could blow up, and I like it, it just doesn't even care. And you could blow up multiple people with the same thing. And let's see if I have any. Yes, I do. I have 2 mind control bolts, so I'll try to give this a shot here. And I missed again. Well, I suck. That was just me sucking. That would have actually been kind of interesting.
So what does a mind control bolt do?
It gives you control of the enemy you hit for a limited time.
Like direct control?
Yeah, so you can actually, it'll switch away from your standard first-person perspective and go to their perspective. There'll be like a greenish filter over the screen. But yeah, you can move them around, and at the end of a short period of time, they will blow up.
Oh,
so
okay.
you turn them basically into a walking bomb.
So basically you walk them towards another group of enemies after you mind control them.
Yeah, so the idea is just, especially if there's a group of enemies on a far ledge that are shooting at you or something like that, like, okay, that's the idea. And you can melee too, which I just did there. But yeah, so you can attack people far away and take out multiple enemies at once because there aren't that many ways to blow up here. Take that guy out.
And I think in the span of less than 10 minutes, your character's killed like 35 men.
Yeah.
That's like the record of all time.
Yeah, he's pretty big on the killing. Yeah, just going around and wiping out everyone in the wasteland. Yeah, and I mean, the plot of the game, I guess I didn't really explain that. It's just that you start out, like a meteor wipes out the Earth, and then you start out as newly emerged from a vault.
And you were one of the few people that got to fit into a vault when they knew the meteor was coming to, in theory, destroy all life on Earth. But obviously, not all life was destroyed, because when you come up, there are still people and people living in cities and groups.
Yeah, and they regard you as some sort of like weird relic of the old style of life. The plot isn't particularly interesting beyond that. Yeah, that's an EMP one. That's really not going to do much in this case. It's much more effective against other enemy types. Like you'll fight guys who uses mind control bolts. Sniper shotgun.
So, right now, you know, this quest that you're doing, is it because, hold on, I'll wait till you get this done.
No, it's okay, this is easy.
You know, why are you killing all these guys, right? You've rolled into their village, and here you are blowing them all apart.
Well, at this point in the plot, I'm moving toward the final encounter, essentially. So, I mean, I don't want to say too much about what's happening, but I'm basically just trying to reclaim parts, more or less.
So these bandits, they're like bad people, I take it. They harm the nicer, civilized parts of the world.
Sort of. Yeah, I mean, people seem nervous about bandits, but I never really got much of a sense that they were kind of that big of a deal. There's also the Authority, who is another one of the main villains in the game, who you don't really see all that often, or probably as often as you should. But they tend to be the more heavily armored types of foes.
They're like the remnant of a government, basically? Is that what it is?
Well, they're like the faceless, oppressive government force in this world. And yeah, they can be tough just because they have a lot of armor on them, so using standard rounds really doesn't do much of anything. This is the rocket launcher.
Nice. It would not be an id game without a rocket launcher.
Okay, and I just ran directly into a bunch of dynamite balloons, so I deserved this sequence. But yeah, I expect to use this quite a bit, because if you're not... I mean, I know a lot of PC gamers are pretty accustomed to hard saving, but maybe the console gamers may rely more on quick saves and things like that, and the quick saving in this game isn't especially forgiving. Or auto-saving, I mean.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. So if you're relying strictly on auto-saves, yeah, the revives do play a big part. Though you can hard save, so that is possible. Rocket launcher, pretty effective. Actually, every weapon in this game is really satisfying to use. I equipped a bunch of other weapons so you could check them out, and I should probably switch to these wing sticks just so you can see them. I don't think I killed everyone yet.
Yeah, the wing sticks, I think, are one of the things that in the trailers and all that always stand out particularly. They just seem really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I know they've been showing these off since sort of the beginning with this game. Oh, I can't do that. Versus, I wanted more mind control bolts because I missed everyone before. But yeah, so if you throw them at somebody who isn't heavily armored, it's pretty much going to do a lot of damage. Is there anything important?
It's great how much physicality there is too with the weapons that you use, in the sense that, like, yeah, like that guy didn't just fall over and die. He like fell, and he fell backwards because the hill was slanted.
Yeah, and I think you can especially this is the best assault rifle that you find. This is the F40 assault rifle, and you can see with sort of every shot, the enemy has some sort of reaction to it, which I think is really cool for just making the weapon feel
like even right there. You had shot him in the stomach, and he was now running at you, holding his stomach.
Like he's still running at me, but yeah, you can tell there's an effect from almost every shot, and I think that's especially cool after playing. Oh, he's totally dead. That's why I was moving. Like except for that guy. Oh wait, but you play something.
Nice.
You play something like Gears of War, and you'll just sit there and shoot the same guy for like 5 minutes, to the point where it doesn't really feel like your weapons are doing that much unless you use something like a shotgun at close range and blow someone to pieces, and then you're like, okay, that felt powerful, but otherwise, you're just hitting a target that doesn't seem to care that it's getting hit with bullets, which is just kind of, that's off-putting to me. I don't like that as much. Probably should have been paying attention to.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like id as a developer has always done a pretty good job of adding physicality to their weapons. Even if you go far back to the original, the original Doom games, when you shot someone with a shotgun, they actually like paused on the wave coming towards you. So they've always had a good understanding about how to make weapons feel like they're actually firing projectiles instead of, you know, just this fake thing.
Yeah, and here we go. I'm going to go on a ride outside of the facility just so I don't have to go through the same content again. So this is just a nice little convenience factor, and also gives it a chance to just show off. I can't look around here, otherwise I would. Just gives it a chance to show off the amazing environmental design.
This is like Rage the Ride at Disneyland.
Yeah, and I mean this is, you know, it's much like the actual combat zones are, where, you know, this is pretty late in the game, so you can tell that they don't open up much. This isn't really an open world shooter. It's just it's linear combat sections connected by the overworld that you saw earlier.
Yeah, I mean the game's linear, but they do a good job of trying to make things feel more open in the sense that you're in a canyon rather than a hallway on a space station.
Yes, exactly.
Like so many other id games are.
Yes.
You can actually look up and see a skybox right now, or you could have if you wanted to.
Yeah, and I mean those sections are still a lot of fun, especially as you unlock more of the ammunition types and things like that. You know, it's really well designed shooter gameplay that you know, I think a lot of people just don't get right. It's not just a matter of putting, you know, targets in front of you. They have to be targets that move, and you have to be able to kill them in more than one way, which is certainly something that it gives you in this game.
Well, and there's a certain type of first-person shooting that I feel like it does differently than most people, in the sense of like it's not like a Call of Duty or a Medal of Honor or something like that, where it's like your guy takes one hit and he dies. You know, it's not as hardcore. It's very much like, I know in Call of Duty you can take more shots, but I'm saying in this, it just seems like this is much more of an homage to what it has been known for, which is making kind of more classic, kind of old school feeling shooters.
Yeah, and it certainly feels like that, and it's definitely about the time that you hit an enemy with a shotgun and they blow up into like a cloud of blood mist or something like that. It's gory, and it's all about explosions and things like that. And yeah, it also has this car component that's very arcade-like. I'm gonna try and actually kill this guy. You can see the explosions are like. This is actually. Oh, he left a mine for me. This is actually the. There we go. Oh, he did drop something there. That'll refill my boost meter when I collect it. Boost recharge. But yeah, and this is actually the multiplayer mode is all car combat. So if you are trying to get this for multiplayer, there's no shooter deathmatch or anything like that. There are standalone co-op missions, but the multiplayer is entirely car combat, like arena stuff, which is kind of odd, but it is fun actually. I think controlling these cars is actually pretty decent.
I feel like if they had done a first-person shooter multiplayer, it might not have picked up in the same way, because how many first-person shooter multiplayer games are coming out this year, and how many car combat multiplayer games are coming out this year? Not enough
shooters, Anthony.
Yeah, there's not enough shooters.
Never enough shooters. But yeah, I know there are a lot of shooters out there. This is a really good one. You know, we've seen the post-apocalyptic setting quite a bit at this point, but this definitely has a unique feel, and is also one of the prettiest games that we've yet seen. So yeah, that was a look at one of the later stages in Rage, and for a lot more on Rage, you can head over to IGN.com.